Welcome back, learners. Today we are discussing about the information technology in power distribution. For the benefit of our learners who have joined late, I would like to tell that today we have with us Dr. R.P. Saxena, who is very senior learned person in this field and working for many years in this information technology and associated with different ministries, implementing various projects in different parts of the country. He was discussing about the overview of the power sector and various possibilities and taking IT as a solution to different problems of the power distribution. I would like to request Dr. Saxena to please continue the discussions.
Thank you, Dr. Bharadwaj. You see, what we were discussing in the first session about the overview of the power sector, how this sector can be strengthened, what are the various areas which can be looked into or which can be taken for the IT, so that the power sector is benefited by the usage of the IT, and also how the common man can be benefited. Now, out of the various devices which we had discussed, one of the device was the automatic meter, what we call AMR, and AMR implementation, AMR automation, AMR process, AMR software will make this area as reducing the loss making area. It will also help in reducing the losses. But what is essential for this AMR is that all consumers must be tagged with a distribution transformer very clearly and accurately. If the tagging is not correct, if the consumer is not, if the information is not available, how the consumer is connected to a distribution transformer, certainly the information will not be correct and it will be difficult to monitor, and also it is most essential for keeping the information, for storing the information in the database. Now, other information, the person whom you have given the connectivity, his support, because he is the person who is giving the money, and therefore what is essential, we must have a customer care relationship. If he has a problem, he must be satisfied. He should be getting the facility, he should be given the facility for complaining over the SMS, which does not cost anything, or on phone or on internet, and there should be customer data website where he can log in, where he can put in, where he can put the store the information, and he should be able to get back the complaint number against the information which he want to inform to a utility. Another thing which is most important is the energy auditing, because in the current system energy auditing is done on the papers, on the files. Energy auditing requires putting meters at all possible points. Whether these meters which have been put are working, are giving the information, right information, that comes as a part of the energy audit. Most utilities have taken up this quite seriously and have been able to identify the problem areas. Some utilities are carrying this energy audit using their own staff, and some has outsourced. One of the common problems faced in the utilities while conducting this energy is wrong indexing. I will cover this wrong indexing portion later on, but wrong indexing, certainly if it is done, our database will be incorrect and we will not be able to tag the information. Wrong tagging is also another problem the consumers. Both the topics I will discuss slightly later. Material management, it helps utilities in procuring large variety of the items and resolve the problems of matching material in the field. There are lots of transformers. We don't know where, and we also are not aware how the transformer, once it is become faulty, which other transformer from which location and how much duration and what route it should follow to reach to requirement and to fulfill the need. And therefore another area which is required is the GIS. We will discuss the GIS again. Help utility in timely procurement of the items and tracking them in the field. The need is that all these stores must be computerized and networked. I say two portion, networking is the most essential. If you computerize and keeping in a one pocket, certainly not be able. Whatever you try, the field officers should be able to see, here is an item which I am looking and this is available in such and such place. If this is not available in that store, we should go to the second store from where this is available. Help the field level officer to check the availability and material at the nearest location to get the same in time. Power project management, this is also most important activity. Most Indian utilities have large networks in place and have a good decision support system to help. Decide the location of the new service stations, plan the things such as the length to be reconducted, location of installation of the capacity, program management and review technique for tackling the problems, how much the maximum time to reduce to solve the problem. Now the PERT chart is the most essential, which gives you all the various possibilities for tackling the problem. Subdivision computerization is the most important unit where most of the activities in distribution utilities take place. If we computerize the headquarter, if we computerize the field unit, will not help us. Subdivision is the most important for automating the power sector. Very few utilities have been able to computerize activities in subdivision level. Substation automation is one of the most important places of the distribution utilities from where the controls are exercised. One is the equipment, other is the automation through the software. In urban areas, substation automation has been integrated with the SCADA. I will discuss the SCADA slightly later. It is yet to take place in most of the utilities in the rural areas. Very few utilities has implemented SCADA because this is a costly system. SCADA system will be able to integrate fault management system. It is able to help utilities to locate fault much more quickly, providing consumers a big relief. IT enabled device usage, installation of IT devices at various nodes. Now what nodes you have to put the things, this is most essential, and if we cover all the nodes, certainly we will be able to reduce the reduction in the theft and trade losses, improve efficiency, revenue generation, and creating organization synergy. Now what we require as per the hardware is concerned, if you want to reduce losses, we want to first is electronic meters, IT enabled conventional meters. Each of the data must be capable of storing and interfacing with the other utility which is not there. This has to be taken care while procuring the meters. Interfacing with the utility data loggers for billing purpose. Bill must come from the same thing, we should not have any other thing, and the software must be interfaced. Hardware with respect to DTR at pole tops. But the distribution this DTRs at pole tops is essential. Placement of the remote terminal units at for the polling, which can go each of the poles and do the polling, as in a multi-user environment in a computer, the operating system goes terminal to terminal for polling. This is similar concept. Transmission DTR loading and energy data to the substation. Certainly, this placing of RTU will help the performance monitoring as well as energy accounting. RTUs at the substation. Placements of RTUs are required for the database creation, cumulative energy accounting, and the fault monitoring.
What is the full form of this RTU?
This is the terminal unit which reads it. Then servers. Servers installation at the master control center. What are the type of servers? There are three types of server. One is the database server, one is the application servers, and one is the standard servers which is for a particular application like finance etc. But that also push all server must be available at the headquarter control center, and this can be accessible. Nowadays that limitation of the server putting in a particular room is not there. The server can be accessed by putting anywhere. Servers are required for processing the various data collected from the meters. Placement of RF and mobile network devices at control center. Placements of RTU. Generate the necessary information for control so as to isolate the fault area promptly. Prevent fault propagation and loss of power to large areas, which would mean revenue loss. Now, creating organization synergy, this is most important. The whole physical infrastructure, human resource, IT hardware into single entity. Now, if we put everything in a single server and if it is accessible from number of locations, certainly the person who is there in the field unit or the substation or the station, he thinks this organization is one. And then he thinks the entire hardware is single entity. The cash flows, fund flow are managed through the software packages integrated with the ERP and SAP. ERP is another concept which is the resource planning, energy resource planning, enterprise-wise resource planning. It is needed for the power distribution sector for supplying and reducing the losses and increasing the revenue generation. Now, business application areas initiatives are the SCADA, substation automation, and data acquisition technologies. With this data acquisition technology I did not discuss, but again this is detailed discussion required. I will not discuss this, but this must be used as a part of this. Now, helpful in monitoring the information exchange for optimal utilization resources, improving efficiency of operation and better management of utilities. Now, business application area of initiative. User-friendly applications is stored in the application server, which should be accessible from all the nodes to the authorized persons, not to all the persons. Basically, the software, when we say it is putting in the server, now there is a authorization level of various levels, and this will authorize the person as per the policy. The policy is the most important for each organization before implementing IC, that who should be authorized, who should use, what level of authorization is there, what level of access is there, that is most essential. Result of data processing are generated from software in the form of the graphs, charts, table, arms, trading, and this can be sent to the person whosoever is giving. Database is in the back end where you have all the data. Software is on the other side which takes the data and put it on the server for the access of the person, and therefore when we create of this website, so this type of data which is extracted from database put on the web server, and this web server is shareable visible to the person whom you want to share the information. The website I did not discuss, so this is the web server should also be there in this one, and we should be accessible this one. For example, when we are accessing the internet, we are accessing the server. We are accessing the Yahoo server, or we are using the Google server, or we are accessing any other server. Now these servers, you know where they are lying in some other country. And when we access, it takes seconds. So now the concept has gone, the server should be there in a particular area, should remain in the headquarter, but the headquarter should be able to connect with a faster network to the field units, to the area unit, to the sub units, to the station unit. Now organization who is implementing SCADA. Now this is as far as SCADA is meant for supervisory control access data acquisition system. I will discuss later. But these are the organizations who are already using. APSCB, Bihar, CESC, Karnataka, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal. Now usage of this SCADA system by the utilities level differs, but they can say certainly we have a SCADA, we have implemented, we are monitoring. Let us say this AMR, automatic reader, this is AP Transco, West Bombay, BSES Delhi, MSEB Maharashtra and Tata Power. Now this I have taken from this report information I have taken from the IT task force for which I was a member, which was created 4 years before, and they have gone to all the SEBs and put this information. Maybe 1 or 2 more SEBs would have been added there. Handheld device is another thing which I am going to talk with after some time. APSEB, BSEB, MSEB and UPSEB. Because here the person takes the handheld device, go to each house, takes the reading and generate the bills. Customer information system, AEC, AP, BSEB, CSC, MSEB. Who has implemented the call centers, where the people can give a call and get a message, this BSES, CSC, APCB. But the reply thing, I have visited these centers, reply time has to reduce. They are taking plenty of the time while we are getting when call is rectified and given. Now again the customer is giving call, this has to be rectified. Now let me summarize what has been done, what is the only overview of this one. First of all is the website is the most essential portion. Backend should be database from which the data information has to be captured. This should be put on because when we put a query on a database, it takes time because there are millions of the consumers, and therefore the query information what you are accessing, you are putting in the website so that it can be shared by others. IT infrastructure installation for the optical fiber, RF link or hiring the lease line. MIS or ERP, this is enterprise-wise resource planning software which binds the whole organization into one. The IT hardware into single entry exchanging the information ideas. It also enables the effective and efficient project management, financial and human resource management. The cash flow and fund flow are managed through the software ERP and SAP. ERP is energy, this is enterprise-wide resource planning. Now, what is required for successful IT implementation? Make sure use the BPE, business process reengineering, what you are doing, study the system, how best it can be improved, what other utilities has done, what are the areas which have come here, how best you can make the process suitable for the electronic workflow, which I discussed, and in fact this portion has also been discussed in the material what you are getting. Commitment of the top management in the implementation, this is the most important. Whatever you do, if your top boss is not satisfied, your exercise will be incomplete. You will not be able to move it. Therefore, commitment of the top management is most essential. By giving the cost benefit analysis, step by implementation, the capacity building, integrated billing system for the customers. Eliminate tampering and manipulation. What are the constraints which I have observed in various utilities? Basic transactions are still manual without inbuilt controls. You have the IT, you have the everything, but you don't have inbuilt control. Limited integrated of systems. Systems are working in pockets. This has to be made integrated. This is what the utilities has to do it. There is a lot of duplication. Same field is being kept by number of persons for the just sake of the information and just phase of the simplicity. Duplication and underutilize the resources. We don't have a standard RG check. Database, for making database, we must have a standard format which should be followed within a single organization by all person and within a sector by all organizations. In fact, some standardization work has been done by the ministry, which in fact I would wanted to discuss, but now time is left. So I will not done on this, not will discuss this. But what they have done it here, I will just show in a nutshell. For example, hydro sector. All organizations, whether it is the state sector or central sector, they streamline the formats, and everybody has to follow these formats. When they have to send the information, they send in a shared format, and once the information comes, then certainly you can collect, compile, and they can get the decision on a single parameter, at least the consistent information. And therefore standardization is the most important. High cost of maintenance. If you are keeping the same thing at number of processes, your cost will reduce, because now you are maintaining, putting expenditure on the server, and therefore the minimum expenditure is going 10 places, this will reduce. Inadequate interface integrated with the other applications. When you are integrating it, you can hire a consultant who can see how all these things can be integrated. Issues have adversely affected the return from the IT investment. Standalone systems, coverage to limited geographical area, and therefore this is the constraints. Other constraints are system are in place but not being used due to lack of training. System has come, until and unless you take the whole organization with you, this is the training is the most important part. Incoherent technology study leads to the situation where incountable options are selected and lots of money are wasted in attempting to integrate them. This has to look into first one, these are the things we are going to it, these are the things, other parts which will be required, and then consultant must take care of this aspect. And also you can take advice, you can also see what has been done by the other entities before coming. The bottom line is that business performance has not improved in spite of the availability of the IT. While Indian IT sector has held numerous other outside organizations outside the world. If you go US, California, full of IT persons of Indian origin. They are dependent on it. This is same persons available here. How we are lacking it. Substantial benefit from the IT application. There is a plenty of the room for the IT within the power sector, and this must be utilized. In the areas which I just discussed, there is a need to look into global practices in IT adoption in power sector so that the India can benefit from them. The main constraint encountered in planning are non-availability of the required information, which I will discuss. Project development programs are suffering from time over cost run. Adopting modern IC tools should be used for the e-governance solution. E-governance solution means the whatever you have a constituted information, it should be available to everyone. But certain riders, yes, to the person who is authorized. This will help in maintenance of the network details, carry out the load flow studies, design suitable models for efficient and improved performance of the system. Certainly, I will summarize here. If ever we adopt it, it will help in getting the timely, up-to-date information required for better planning, monitoring, and will improve the IT efficiency and financial performance. Many utilities which I named who are using this one certainly has become online with their subordinate organization and monitor various schemes and programs. Now I just come to another slide. Now, I have discussed about some overview. I have given various devices. Now I am come to very important aspect on the consumers, which is called consumer indexing. There is another application linked with this GIS, and there is another SCADA which I discussed. If you have any of the question, I have my mail number, which is already in the slide, rp_saxena@yahoo.com, and certainly I will be able to answer you. Now, what is a consumer indexing? You see, in a bank, how you are recognized? You have an account number, you have a name. If you have an account number, immediately the system recognizes you. If you don't have account number, you give a name, system searches, and then it comes in. Now for the consumer database, what is essential is consumer indexing, so that each of the consumer a tag has been put in there. In school children, when it is going, you are putting a tag, here is a such and such, so he recognizes from the tag. The same concept is the tagging. Each customer given a unique number, so no other customer has the same, so that he can be identified, and we call it CIN, customer index number. And once this is there, this helps it in consumer database. A work has been done by the NDPL on this. Now, what do you mean by CIN? CIN means how a customer is tagged. How tagging means how he is linked to a, how his house is linked with pole number, distribution transfer number, the feeder number from which he is getting electricity, and the station which is generating the electricity. Now, each of the consumer is, if it is tagged in a sequence, so anywhere if any problem is there, so that utility can monitor at the item level, while consumer is tagged with his unique number. Now, I just taken a simple example. What is meant by CIN number 0341129? This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is a 12-digit number. Now, this consumer number 03, if you start from the last, 18 is the customer number. It means 18 number customer living such and such locality has been allotted 18 number. It means starting 1, 2, it is going a number. This 18 number customer is located with linked with the pole number 6. This pole number 6 is connected to receiving transformer number 129. And this 129 transformer is connected to feeder number 4. And feeder 4 is connected to the station number 3. Now, if transformer goes back, new feeder comes here. Same feed number will be given here, but question is, now you require a metering at the feeder level, transformer level, pole number, and the customer number. At this level, metering has not been done anywhere. A start has been made on this. Now, this is just a pictorial view: station code, feeder code, TTR code, distribution transformer code, pole number and consumer number, and that makes a what is CIN. Now, we require a database like this for each of the company within a utility who are monitoring the consumers. Applications of server on mapping the network and other assets. Now, this is the one of the area where I have discussed on the CIN, customer indexing. There are other areas, survey of the mapping.
Yeah, please Delhi speak.
Hello.
Yes, please speak.
Hello.
Yes, please speak.
Good evening, Saxena ji.
Good
पीछे से स्टार्ट करती ऑन नहीं होती, एक दूसरे कैमरे से लेती वो लॉन्ग शॉट तक करते
There was power failure, so sorry for that. We were listening to our learner from Delhi, from EduSat, from Delhi 1. If that call is alive, we can take that call. If not, then we will continue our discussions. And I would like to request the caller that he may again ask his question. Yes, please.
R7 is ready for asking the question, sir.
Yeah, please. Speak.
Good evening, Saxena ji.
Good evening.
This is J.K. Garg this side. You have elaborated the merits and constraints
वॉल्यूम थोड़ा बढ़ाएंगे.
of the IT information system. My question is, does it necessitate the regulatory commission, or some guidelines are being given by any regulatory commission or any government organization?
Okay. Should I any other thing? Point which you want to stress?
No, sir.
You see, Ministry of Power is the highest authority in Government of India who issues the directives to all the utilities, all the companies, all the department dealing with the power sector. In state government, utilities are the highest authorities which give the directions to all the companies. Now, each utility has been broken into 3 companies. The chairman of each of the companies, this is as per their will, what area they choose, what direction they go, but they have to bring benefit, they must bring the money to the company for the amount and the generation and the power which have been given to consumers. Basically, the directions are already there. These are the chairman of the respective companies are responsible for using whatever the way they want to use the IT. But directives has also been given by the Government of India. There is no other commission which is required for this.
He was asking perhaps these electricity regulatory commissions and authorities about that. He is referring to that. Whether any direction or any such sort of initiatives has to be taken by these regulatory commissions for implementing these things. He is referring to these electricity regulatory
commission. They take care. We see
because these because all these companies and these this distribution companies and all these the state electricity board, now they are bound to listen to the electricity regulatory commission.
You see, regulatory commission basically have all empowered. Now they are empowered to give the direction regarding as per the on the grid, how much you draw, how much is your share, that type of thing they give the direction. But within the IT, they have
tariffs also.
On tariff also. Tariff is the most important. But within the IT, what a company do it, this is entire purview of them. There is nothing to do with regulation, because whatever the ministry issues direction, that also goes to regulatory commission also. Because IT is a subject of the organization.
He is perhaps asking that whether for the better or better management or for the benefit of the consumers even, and from various angles, whether these regulatory commissions should give some directives to these companies, because in Delhi, as for example in Delhi, BSES, NDPL, BSS, Yamuna, Rajdhani, these three companies are working. So if the companies are not willing to do at their own, whether there may be some directives from the regulatory commission that you have to implement these things for the better management of the power distribution or not. So
yes, there are clear directions are there on this, but detail level things, what level of equipment, what level of application, there is no such direction, because this is subject of the company.
yeah, of course, the choice has to be made by the company, but for a certain level of things, that for smooth operations, what should be there means something those hardware and software and that type of management, that these should be there or implemented. These schemes should be implemented for better management, for the benefit of the consumer as well as for the company. Because when we say that T&D losses are that much and that much, so to have a better control on these things, database, to have the better management, so that there is no manipulation with the data also, even that what is the losses, and because based on the losses the tariff has to be revised, and all these many things are related to these database. So for that, whether there should be some minimum implementation of this IT in a particular company, distribution company, he is perhaps referring to that is there some directives of the regulatory commissions, or should there be some directives?
There should be a clear direction from the, if this can be there, the ministry has tried, because each of the company within a state, it is a utility independent. It is nothing to do with the central government. Even a ministry which have been given all the powers, but they can only advise whether they follow or not follow. This is their subject, this is state subject, and therefore even a regulatory commission which have been put by central government, they cannot make it because it is a state subject. That's number one. Only thing is advice given, whether how much percentage they use it, this certainly within their purview. But the advices how to use it certainly have been given by the ministry and also by the regulatory commission.
And those central regulator can give directions to the state regulators,
Yes,
because every state is having this regulatory commission, electricity regulatory commission. So that regulator can decide the minimum level
no,
of.
I will tell you, as per the act goes, because government India or state government, nothing goes beyond the act. As per the act, Central Electricity Authority is responsible for implementing the reforms, as well as as per the act, they have to get data from all the utilities. Now they are responsible for standardization of this one, but certainly whatever direction have been given, how much have been followed by them,
that has to be seen.
that has to be seen. That's one answer. Yeah. Second thing is, since it is state subject, how much they give it, because the minimum information in any case they have to give it as per the act, but how much they follow it, whether they are giving this information by following the IT procedures, this is the state subject and companies thing.
So let's come to our discussions.
Is that right? Can I proceed?
Yes, if he has any doubt, he may ask again.
Okay.
So let's continue.
Okay, I just go a bit. Now CIN was one. There are other surveys, application survey on the mapping. Because basically from satellite we take pictures and carry out the mapping of the network. For example, entire Delhi mapping has been done from the satellite and within location of each of the houses. That's a different subject, is a other thing. But as I said, there are other surveys which have to be carried out. The network entities may be assigned to similar code numbers. So basically this subject which I am discussing, as has been done in the code assignment for the consumer, then feeder, transformer, substation, and similar codes has to be done. Any survey has to be done it here to provide a unique number. Similarly, where it can provide it, network entities within a change, asset code number for the material management, customer and network data obtained through GPS survey on entities and consumers should be digitized. Data should be overload on the satellite imagery. Now basically all this data what is collected, this can be formed in the form of a record in terms of various attributes, and once this is available, this can be plotted on a map so that it gives a better presentation. This I will discuss in GIS. Let me just proceed further. Now what is GIS? It is a system of capable where you can assemble the information, you can store the information, you can manipulate, you can display geographically reference information by integrated from database. Now various layers of information on the same subject can be kept, and this can be superimposed on a map. What is required here? Take for example particular station. You have a longitudinal longitude, you have plotted on a map. Now all information related with the consumers, connected load, consumption, you can put there. This is one simple example. Like that there can be number of attributes. I am not going to this one, but basically GIS what you do is all the information basically put here, it puts in various records in terms of different layers, and these layers are superimposed. Now GIS is a digital representation of the coordinates of customers, network elements with their attributes, important landmarks of the relevant area on the geographical map having suitable resolution. GIS has utilities in visualizing actual network as it is laid on the ground. It is user friendly and provide ease of data entry. Since data is digitized, several interactive applications are possible that permits automatic mapping, facilities management and network solution. For example, within a district, how many transformers are there? You have plotted on this latitude and longitude wise. Now you can see within the map which are the area which you have not covered. It has come only through GIS. It means this area you have not covered, and therefore there is a need to put a transformer there. How much this transformer has covering maximum? No, this comes only through GIS. I just given. Now what is required for GIS implementation? You require five components. You require a hardware, software, data, people for use, and methods. All GIS data can be comprised in the two portions. One is the geometrical data, which refers to the geometry of the geographical feature, such as location. If you take location, it can be boundary, it can be street, it can be plot boundary, it can be building, it can be features. Attribute data for a particular locality, which refers location as location name, street name, nature of occupation, plot, elevation, etc. It means each of the data can be divided in two portions. One is geometrical data, attribute data, and you create in a different records, and these layers can be superimposed. Requirement of GIS application: you must have a database. It can pick up from the database. You require a hardware. You require an application server for the web server, desktop at different user location, enterprise-wide WAN and LAN. GIS software, once implemented at headquarters, it can be used from anywhere. How GIS data is organized? It is organized into series of thematic layers. Links the location is title, is a locational, and database information, tabular form, enables user to visualize the pattern relation to trends. Now, power exchange within the between the various systems. You have in power sector, you have various systems. The entire how the power is flowing from one system to another system, how much is import, how much is the export, entire thing comes from the GIS. Enables users to visualize the pattern, relationship and trends, used to produce and visualize layered data sets, reference to geography and having real world locations. Now, which are the GIS applications which can be used? One is the customer indexing, asset management, location fault, efficient planning and maintenance, affecting network, augmentation, upgradation, customer management, complaints, and what are other services you can do it. Now, what are the GIS application used by the various utilities in power distribution? Built-in consumer database is the most common which people are using, covering consumption, billing and collection, energy audit and MIS, distribution system planning, load forecasting, load management can be carried out accurately with the geographical data. GIS utility allows utility to share the common data on the dynamic information related to the performance of the network. Now, database and GIS based applications, your metering and billing, outage management, asset management, energy and water, and the better customer satisfaction. Now, these are the areas which in fact what is required here. Data should be captured, data must be stored, then we use the application, import the data, put the data, collect the attributes, and then superimpose on a map that gives the information. Now, other most important sector in power distribution is the SCADA, which is the supervisory control and data acquisition. Basically, all the equipments required within a company where SCADA is involved, it networks a group of substations. It can be metros, it can be in town. Now, how much all these stations are connected within SCADA? And then what is the performance it is coming online? Each minute, it is second by second it is coming. It is used for data collection in respect of all the equipment installed at the host station. It is an effective tool for remote sensing and system planner, and as I shown in the last diagram, at least 10 or 12 utilities are already using it. But whatever data is using it, are we using for the MIS purpose? If you ask me, certainly this data is not used by all the utilities. This is used for the supervisory control. Yes, this station has gone down, this is the corrective action. For the MIS purpose, for the planning purpose, for decision making, we are having another system. How is SCADA developed? It is developed using a host enabling core technologies, data communication, centralized and distribution databases, decision support, real-time computing is the most important. Wherever you want to implement SCADA, you have to real-time. Real-time computing, power system analysis, geographical information processing, graphics and multimedia, distributed processing control, simulation and forecasting enterprise resource planning. Now, what you require for implementing SCADA, you must be in real time. There should be very little gap in the information sending and information receiving at the headquarters. So that completes this topic. If you have any question on this now, certainly I will be able to answer it on the metering.
Perhaps our learners would like to know some more details regarding SCADA, because for the most of the engineers working in the field, this system is somewhat little bit new. So they would like to get more information on the GIS and the SCADA systems, that what sort of data they have to gather, and how it is processed, and what are the benefits of these especially.
You see, first of all,
because these systems
this is a very relevant question, Dr. Bharadwaj.
Because these systems are somewhat new, and for our engineers working in these companies, these are not you can say exposed to these systems.
Correct, I believe. Now see, I just give it to, because question is, these topics are such for which a separate lecture, full lecture is required on this, and information also has to be seen that what is the various work has been done with respect to power sector. That's
yes.
the number 2. Number 3, as far as utility is concerned of the GIS.
Yeah. Please speak, Dali. Please speak.
I am R.K. Dhiman,
जी बोलिए.
speaking from Delhi.
जी.
I am working in NDPL. In NDPL, SCADA system is implemented in most of the 33 kV substation. But the problem we are facing is that there is a gap in the signal, that if a particular breaker has got tripped, but there is no any signal in the control room that such type of breaker has got tripped off. And finally we got complaint from the consumer that we are not getting electricity. So how such type of problems are sorted out in the control room as far as signal is concerned? Thank you.
You see, what I just now told in the few minutes before, first of all, you see, you have already informed that so many places has already been connected, and the correction has to be real-time basis. The proposal has come to NIC to implement the SCADA system, since NIC was a satellite-based system, and therefore there is a time delay for sending the signal to satellite once at least 2 hops are there, and therefore if it is not on a real-time basis, certainly there is a problem. Therefore first thing which is required for SCADA, therefore there should not be any time delay, and therefore this has to be taken, that whatever the time delay is coming, that has to be taken. Second thing, what the corrective action has to be taken on this one, certainly this is the area of the power engineers, that how the take care of the problems which are there. Now this has to be discussed with those concerned engineers. But how this is time delay which is there, this has to be certainly taken care, and you have to use some other network methodologies so this time delay can be reduced.
So basically you want to say that this problem is because of the time delay.
One is the time delay, signal is a time delay, and the faults ke liye what has to be, action has to be taken. Again, there is certain policy, who has the person responsible, how this has to be taken, that has to take care of that department.
Because he is saying that whenever there is a tripping, that this information is not reaching.
There is time delay. That's
so,
number one.
So
second thing is, what is the corrective action to correct that? Even the time delay is, let us say there is no time delay, then this is why it is tripped. What is the further course of action in series? This has to be taken. There is a manuals available on this, and what is the action, and who has to be responsible within the department, they have to take care.
No, he's focusing that this information regarding the tripping is not reaching the head.
Yes, so that is the
control room.
There are two problems in this one. One is the time delay. Second thing is the information between the two systems is not able to transfer. There is some other interface problem. Maybe.
So basically here, if we look at this, focus on that, so there is a problem maybe because of that problem of interfacing. Correct. Between the two systems or between the two units.
Yes,
interfacing can be because time delay may not be that
time
much.
Delay is not so much,
because
time delay, you see, it may few seconds, few milliseconds.
Yeah, because in this case they are localized.
The problem is localized, and therefore it is the interfacing problem between the equipment and the headquarter. Because time delay means if it comes, even if it comes after a few seconds, still you should be able to take care. But if information not coming, that's a different thing.
So the problem is perhaps of the interfacing of the two devices or the systems. So the problem of interfacing has to be rectified. And perhaps by rectifying that problem, this problem can be rectified. So would you like to give some more information regarding this GIS applications?
At present I don't have, but certainly I can take care of that.
Okay. So if learners, you have any question, you can ask in the meantime. Though we are reaching to the end of this session, still we have 2-3 minutes in this session. In this session if Dr. Saxena would like to summarize that what we have discussed, so it would be better. As I think the whole session was related to this consumer indexing and various devices and the softwares that can be used for that purpose of consumer indexing and that maintaining the database.
Yes.
So this was all about in this, and certainly some of the things are new to us and our engineers, and for working on these systems a proper training is required, just like for GIS as well as for SCADA.
Yes.
The companies who has already installed it and given training to their staff, so their staff may be feeling it comfortable, but for the persons who are working in the utilities where these systems have not been installed, so for those engineers and the persons working in those companies, these systems are somewhat new.
Yes.
So we are coming to the end of this session, so we will continue our discussions after 15 minutes. We will meet here at 7 o'clock and continue the discussion in the next session. Thank you.